So I had an interesting experience this morning and I got really quite emotional about it. I've just had the incredible privilege of going away to a 2-day conference with a bunch of guys at the Cinnamon Network, and these are people who are leading big projects across the country that are sort of like running in different churches. So things like Who Let the Dads Out, Baby Basics, Trussell Trust, a whole bunch of leaders from all these kinds of groups were there. And there was about 30 or 40 of us. It was an incredible privilege to be with these people who weren't only talking the talk but who were walking the walk, and to see how tough it was actually to push forward and move those things forward, but they were doing it anyway with God's help, and it was just amazing. And then I went to something today which is a church-based thing, and I guess I'd probably set the bar a bit high, to be honest, and I was thinking, oh, we could do this, we can do this. It was really disappointing actually, and more than that actually, I got in the car and I literally just wept pretty much the whole way home for probably half an hour, and just was like, it was so crushingly disappointing that the church, for whom God has such incredibly high aspirations, had such low aspirations themselves, and I was well, you can tell I'm still really moved by it, because I'm just like, I think we've missed it, guys. I think we've really missed it, because he's imbued such power in us as individuals and in the church, and we are just playing and toying with it. I guess I feel we're not really using the power he's given us. What I saw was that God has given dynamite power to blast through the most, whatever barrier is in front of us, I guess, and we're just like chipping away, a little bit, chipping away, we do a little bit, chipping away, and we've missed the point that we are called to make massive change in this society. And I am so in admiration of people like William Booth and the Cadburys, who just went for it and just went like, okay, we're going to make massive social change, and weren't intimidated by the fact that they were one or two people, but they knew that with God behind them they can make a huge difference. And I just think we are so massively missing it. And what amazed me, I guess, about the weekend was that one person who set up Baby Basics has impacted, because of what God's laid on her heart and her being faithful with that, has impacted hundreds and probably thousands of women across this country. And the same again with the Trussell Trust, the food bank. What if they hadn't been faithful to setting that up and starting that? That's part of what I guess I was hearing. And then when I got home and I was really going, oh God, why have you shown me this? Because this is just really frustrating that the church is just only a tiny fraction of the amazing thing that I believe you've called it to be. And then I guess he kind of turned it around. There was that bit like, if it's a finger pointing out at somebody, because I was going, why isn't the church, blah, blah, blah. And like there's 3 fingers pointing right back at me. And I guess I was thinking, come on, church, you should be more courageous. You should be more in faith. And I kind of heard God sort of whispering, might that apply to you? I kind of felt that he'd been really gracious. He hadn't sort of just like gone, come on, Jen, be brave this year. He got me really feeling it. And then he'd said, and what about you? What courageous thing will you do? What is outside of your comfort zone? Because that's what I feel. I feel that the church sits in their comfort zone and they think what we can do. And this morning, very possible, very doable. Yes, so-and-so can do this, so-and-so can do this. And it was way too doable. We should have had something there that we didn't even really think we could possibly do. That's what I believe the church is called to do. Something far and above. So you have this vision and you kind of like, wow, we cannot possibly do this without God. And if there's a vision that the church has got that they can do with God, that's kind of all right. But like, kind of me feels that the church, and I guess for ourselves, and that's the bit where it turns around, is shouldn't we individually have a vision for ourselves that can only possibly come true if God shows up, if God empowers us, if God makes the way? Here's my question to myself right now, and my question to you is, what is that hairy, scary vision, dream that you would love to see happening. We all settle. There's no shame in having settled. But when God speaks, and maybe he's speaking now, maybe he isn't, but if you sense him speaking now, what's the next step you can do towards that hairy, scary vision challenge that looks impossible? And how can you remind yourself of that? Can you write down what it is you feel in your spirit and put it in the front of your Bible? Can you write something or put a picture that represents it up on your fridge or on your wall? Or are you part of a small group or a prayer group that you can ask them to pray for you? Because I think, for me, I know it takes incredible courage to do what God has got you to do. And I'll be honest with you, there's something I think that God has called me to do. And over the last couple of weeks, I've been going, this is just too hard. That's the fact. It's just too hard. And then I really just felt, I was driving a long way this weekend, and I really felt God just reminding me of people like Jeremiah and Nehemiah, and going, you know, that wasn't easy. And Paul in the prison. And I was like, that wasn't easy. It wasn't an easy thing. It wasn't something easy he's called us to. It was something really difficult and something really courageous. And I love that bit where it says in the Bible about being strong and courageous. I think courage to do what we're called to do is one of the missing ingredients these days. So there's the challenge. What's the hairy, scary goal and vision that God has given you? And how are you going to remind yourself of that and pray into that and ask God to take you on the next step? This has been me, Jen, with Bruno, the slightly bonkers working Cocker Spaniel. I hope you have a great day in God and that you know his presence walking with you. Take care.